In the summer of 2008, a chilling case gripped the nation, forever etching its way into the annals of American crime. Caylee Anthony, a bright-eyed 2-year-old, vanished without a trace from her home in Orlando, Florida. The mystery surrounding her disappearance captivated millions and ignited a firestorm of media attention. The nation watched, hearts pounding, clinging to the hope of Caylee's safe return. The image of Caylee's cherubic face became seared into the collective consciousness of America. As days turned into weeks and weeks into months, the mystery deepened. The search for Caylee became a national obsession, with volunteers from across the country pouring into Orlando. Amidst the collective grief, a chilling question lingered. Where was Caylee's mother, Caylee Anthony, and what did she know about her daughter's disappearance? Caylee Anthony, a young woman in her early 20s, became the central figure in the unfolding drama. Her demeanor, a perplexing mix of detachment and grief, raised eyebrows and fueled suspicion. Instead of radiating worry and desperation, Caylee appeared carefree, even partying in the weeks following Caylee's disappearance. Her apparent lack of concern was deeply unsettling, clashing sharply with the image of a distraught mother. Adding to the growing unease were Caylee's inconsistent and often contradictory statements to the police. She claimed that Caylee had been kidnapped by a nanny whom no one had ever met. Each new revelation only served to deepen the mystery and cast further suspicion on the young mother. The nation watched in disbelief as Caylee's facade began to crumble under the weight of her own lies. As the investigation into Caylee's disappearance intensified, a media frenzy erupted, propelling it to the forefront of the national consciousness. News crews from every major network descended upon Orlando, capturing every twist and turn of the investigation. The public, hungry for answers, devoured every detail, dissecting every word uttered by investigators. Law enforcement officials worked tirelessly, following every lead, interviewing witnesses, and meticulously combing through evidence. Amidst the flurry of activity, a sense of unease lingered, a growing suspicion that the truth was hidden beneath layers of lies and deceit. At the center of it all stood Caylee Anthony, a young mother whose behavior defied explanation and fueled suspicion. The trial of Caylee Anthony was a spectacle, captivating millions and dividing the nation. As the prosecution presented its case, a chilling narrative began to emerge. The discovery of Caylee's remains, months after her disappearance, sent shockwaves through the courtroom. Forensic evidence pointed to the Anthony family home as the likely scene of the crime. Searches for terms like chloroform were discovered on Caylee's computer, suggesting premeditation. The prosecution argued that Caylee, overwhelmed by motherhood, had murdered her daughter and then spun a web of lies. They presented a compelling case, weaving together evidence and testimony that pointed to Caylee's guilt. As the trial progressed, public outrage grew, fueled by the horrific nature of the crime and Caylee Anthony's demeanor. The media played a significant role in shaping public opinion, often portraying Caylee in a negative light. The courtroom became a battleground of emotions, with the prosecution and defense locked in a fierce legal battle. The case sparked heated debates across the country, igniting passionate arguments about justice and the role of the media. Social media platforms amplified both support for Caylee's innocence and calls for her conviction. The defense, facing a mountain of circumstantial evidence, mounted a vigorous defense, challenging the prosecution's narrative. They argued that Caylee's death was an accident, a tragic drowning that Caylee had tried to cover up. They painted a picture of Caylee as a loving mother who had made terrible decisions in the aftermath of her daughter's death. The defense skillfully chipped away at the prosecution's case, highlighting inconsistencies and raising questions about the evidence. They argued that reasonable doubt existed and that Caylee Anthony deserved to be acquitted. Their strategy proved effective, ultimately swaying the jury in their favor. After weeks of testimony and countless hours of deliberation, the jury reached a verdict: not guilty of murder, aggravated child abuse, and aggravated manslaughter. The courtroom erupted in gasps and cries, the nation stunned by the verdict. Caylee Anthony, once vilified as a cold-blooded killer, was now a free woman. The public was outraged, convinced that justice had not been served. The verdict sparked protests and demonstrations across the country. The case became a lightning rod for discussions about the justice system and the power of public opinion. Despite the verdict, the Caylee Anthony case remains shrouded in mystery. The truth continues to fuel speculation and debate, ensuring that the case will remain a subject of fascination for years to come. The question of how Caylee died continues to haunt those who followed the case. Did she drown accidentally, as the defense claimed? Or was her death the result of something more sinister? The circumstances surrounding Caylee's disappearance and the subsequent discovery of her remains remain perplexing. The passage of time has done little to quell the public's fascination with the case. The Caylee Anthony case left an indelible mark on the national psyche, its legacy a complex tapestry of loss and uncertainty. The image of Caylee Anthony serves as a poignant reminder of the preciousness of life. Her story ignited a national conversation about child safety and parental responsibility. The case highlighted the power and perils of the 24-hour news cycle and social media. The constant barrage of information shaped public perception, often blurring the lines between fact and fiction. The Caylee Anthony case continues to resonate today, its lessons as relevant as ever. The Caylee Anthony case continues to captivate and haunt the nation, its legacy a reminder of the fragility of life and the need for justice. The case exposed the limitations of the justice system and the challenges of proving guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. It highlighted our morbid fascination with true crime and our insatiable appetite for stories of tragedy. The case became a national obsession, its every twist and turn dissected and debated. The most enduring legacy of the case is the reminder that some questions may never have definitive answers. The Caylee Anthony case serves as a stark reminder of the importance of critical thinking and the dangers of rushing to judgment.